is trauma? Not the neatly packaged definitions from psychology books, not the sanitized version you see shared on social media. What is trauma, really? Trauma is not just something that happened to you. It's not just an event or a memory. Trauma is what happens inside you after the event is long gone. It's what remains long after the bruises fade, after the scars blend into your skin, after everyone else moves on as if nothing happened. Trauma is the invisible wound that you carry, the ghost inside your bones, the silent scream that echoes through your mind when no one else can hear it. You've been taught to believe that trauma is weakness, something to be hidden or conquered or fixed, that you should somehow be able to outgrow it, that time alone heals wounds. But the truth you already suspect is darker, harsher, and far more complex. Trauma doesn't fade, it transforms. It seeps into your personality, your choices, your beliefs about yourself and the world. It dictates the way you love, the way you trust, the way you fear. It shapes your life without your permission. People tell you you should move on. Just let it go. It's in the past. But trauma is never truly past. It lives inside you as if it happened yesterday, as if it's still happening now. Your body remembers even when your mind tries to forget. A smell, a sound, a voice, a touch. And suddenly you are back there, trapped in the very moment you thought you'd escaped. You don't control trauma. Trauma controls you. This is what no one wants to admit. Trauma does not care how strong you are, how resilient, how successful. It doesn't discriminate, doesn't respect your age, your status, your accomplishments. It simply takes root. It buries itself deep within you, becoming part of your identity until you don't know who you are without it. You become defined by what hurt you, by what you survived, and in some twisted way, the trauma becomes comforting, familiar, almost safe. Because who are you without your pain? You have spent years building your life around it. Your relationships, your habits, your defenses, all shaped by what happened to you. You say you want healing, but deep down, healing terrifies you. Because healing would mean letting go of who you've become. It would mean facing a world where you can no longer use your trauma as a shield, as an explanation, as a reason to withdraw from the risk of living fully. Trauma isolates. It convinces you that no one understands, that no one else feels what you feel, that you are uniquely damaged, uniquely flawed. You believe you must hide it, mask it, disguise it, tells you that if others knew what you carry, they would leave, or worse, they would pity you. So you wear a mask, you pretend strength, you become adept at performing normalcy. But inside you feel hollow, alone. But here is the brutal truth. No one is coming to rescue you from trauma. There is no savior, no magic cure, no sudden relief that arrives neatly wrapped. Therapists and healers and loved ones may support you, but the final confrontation is yours alone. Trauma does not surrender easily. It fights to stay alive because it is built into the fabric of who you are. To remove it, you must be willing to dismantle yourself. And most people never find the courage to do that. Yet, beneath the darkness, there is something else. Trauma is not a life sentence. It's a catalyst. Not for everyone, not easily, not painlessly. But if you face it head on, if you turn towards it rather than running, trauma can become the doorway to something deeper, something truer. Not because you are grateful for what happened. That's nonsense. But because trauma forces you into the depths of your own being, it shatters illusions. It burns away pretense. It makes you see yourself without filter, without armor. In this raw space, if you can survive the intensity, something extraordinary happens. You become real. Not the carefully curated persona you showed the world, but the true, unfiltered essence of yourself. Because once you've seen your darkness clearly, once you've felt your pain fully, you no longer fear yourself. You have stood in your own fire and survived. You've discovered something about yourself most people never do. That you are stronger than the worst thing that ever happened to you. But this strength isn't heroic. It isn't romantic. It's quiet, solitary, relentless. It is the strength of someone who has seen their own worst nightmare and lived to tell about it. And from this place, you no longer have to hide. You no longer have to pretend. Trauma still whispers, still tries to pull you back. But now you see it clearly for what it is. Not weakness, not brokenness, but a wound you carry, and carry proudly. The truth is that trauma never fully leaves. It changes shape. It shifts. It softens. But you carry it forever. It becomes a silent companion, a constant reminder of your own capacity to endure. And in facing that reality head on, something powerful emerges. Not healing as you imagined it, but acceptance. A raw, uncompromising acceptance that says, this happened to me, but it did not destroy me. It scarred me, yes, but scars are proof that I survived. And maybe this is the deepest truth about trauma. It does has been for you until you're